We're going to be going over the patch notes and see exactly what they're going to be working on in 3.6. I think it's important that we review it, as 3.6 is going to be hugely important. We're going to discuss that and the patch notes in detail after these messages.
Today's video has been brought to you by the generous patrons of The Games who make continued content on The Games possible. The Games patrons enjoy monthly giveaways like Steam gift cards, Star Citizen packages, and any game that you want giveaways. Please consider donating just $1 if in any way you enjoyed The Games content. Thank you.
Hello everybody and welcome back to The Games. I've been gone a while. Apologies. I've been recharging my batteries. It's been a very busy week for me, but I'm never too busy for you guys. So we need to go over 3.6 as far as the importance of 3.6, how I see it. 3.6 going to be one of those builds that comes out like a 3.0 does. 3.6 is going to introduce the new law system. We're all looking forward to that. We're interested in seeing the interaction between the NPC and the player in systems, how they're going to enforce different types of laws. Are they just going to kind of like put a frosting on it and we're just, you know, it's not going to be a lot of substance to it? We're not quite sure, but we're going to go over the 3.6 patch build to see exactly what Evocati is working on, since it has just been released to Evocati. Let's go over the details. All right, so here we go. Testing focus is on the ship combat balance first and foremost. Looks like that's a priority. Ship shields, missile damage, missile counter measuring, any type of PvP actionable testing that they're working on is cool with me. The cooler, the more realistic the flight, the better the game's going to be. You have to be feeling as if you are an extension of the ship that you are flying. That is so key to this game becoming successful. And there's still some disconnection. There's still some people who are not too happy with the new flight model. I don't mind it. I don't think it's that bad. Where we need to really look at this is in the Prospector. This is something that concerns me. The new VTOL flight mode, which is the next thing, the hover mode, acceleration control, which is your VTOL flight, concerns me with a Prospector. For those mining on planets, you know, we really been pushing about wanting very realistic atmospheric flight. That combined with the new VTOL flight system on Prospectors might be an issue. It might be something to worthy talking about just in a video. So that's something that I'm most concerned about, actually, going into 3.6 with the new flight system. Worried about VTOL and the Prospector. That's actually something that's on the top of my worry list. So hopefully we're having good issues. I've talked to a couple Evocati members in regards to this, and it is mixed. There are some people who are not too happy with it, and there are others that are just kind of like, hey, it's okay, you know, it's an adjustment. So I don't know, that kind of like makes me worry a little bit. But I will say that the mining in space, you know, with zero gravity, it's going to be pretty much the same old type of mining that you're accustomed to. This just is in regards to mining on planets. One thing that I will say is it would be very refreshing to see SIG put out a industrial mining vehicle that has wheels or treads, like a land mining vehicle. So maybe that's something you guys got to think of, SIG. Ship component degradation. We were talking about this on the Inside Star Citizen show. We were talking about the new components that are going to be in there. So they're testing out the new components. Awesome. Head tracking, very important. Head tracking also for FOIP, but also for IR head tracking. Being able to look around the cockpit for those of you that are into the super realism like I am. Those types of bugs that they have been numerous. We know this. There have been people who have been flying that are not too happy with it. We know they disabled FOIP on the last build. I'm looking forward to bring back FOIP so I can do more in-game content for you guys. P-72 Archimedes telling the community on a Reddit post, there was a citizen who was saying that the P-72 Archimedes, as far as the speed, as far as a racer, it was average. It was 59 seconds per lap, and that puts it at third. So it wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best as far as speed is concerned. As far as the utility of the P-72 Archimedes, it's still up for debate. Ship purchasing. Woo! Ship purchasing. We are all very excited because they're introducing purchasing ships in game. This is huge for the industrial aspects, the portions of the game where we're talking about what is something worth, right? Because there's a lot of people talking about prices right now. We're seeing prices in this build. We're seeing prices for ships. You know, they're in the millions, 3 millions, 4 millions for different types of ships that are in the game. We're not quite sure yet if every ship is available in game. Would be awesome to buy every ship inside the actual PU once this is released. I will say this: will it affect overall ship sales? I'm not quite sure. This kind of butts into the realm of the people buying ships with real life money, and now they're able to buy them with creds. I don't know. They might see maybe a slight drop off in sales. I don't know if this is the smartest thing to do for SIG. As a gamer, I love it because I can go in and I can buy any ship that I want. I think really overall, it's a good PR move for SIG to just say, hey, it's time we release these ships in the game for sale. Now, obviously, we know when they reset everything, we all get pissed off because then our creds go back down to 5,000 and we got to start all over. They can't really do anything about that. But in the meantime, as the build progresses, we're able to actually build up our creds for those hardcore players like myself. We can get those creds and we can buy the ships in game. I think that's pretty cool. I like it. Pip accuracy and ship flight jitter. Yes. I don't even need to get into that. That's just like that should be something that should be ironed out by now. We're still having issues with the bed login bug. I hope that that's on here somewhere. I think that falls in the realm of known issues of the 3.5.1 patch that we've been having some issues with. ASOP terminals at Area 18 are currently non-functioning, so they're going to work on that. The updated criminality and law system is only partially implemented. Aha! With some missing behavior and needed elements. We will not be describing or taking feedback on this topic just yet, which means they're not anywhere close to where they want to be as far as enforcing laws. They're just putting the frosting on. So that's interesting that we got to that because we talked about that at the beginning of this video. So they're just putting the frosting on. Somewhat disappointing, SIG. You know, this is something that they had mentioned in their pillar talk that's on my channel. We reviewed it and we were very excited about it. So maybe this was more hype than actual game mechanics in the game. Come on, SIG. You know, if you're gonna release some type of news like this in that pillar talk, then there should be some game mechanics behind it, not just frosting. Shame on you. Textures will display across the visor on some helmets, depending on ship. Sometimes when attempting to file an insurance claim, the timer will either start with a long delay or never start at all. Yes, I've experienced that. Tends to be some of the ships in the larger categories for me as far as size. That is something that happens to me quite often. Rudo's face does not appear in hologram. Not concerned about it. Updated Daymar, Aberdeen, Ida, and Magda to new lighting systems. Cool. We want to check that out when we can get back in there. Various lighting cleanups around Port Olisar. Port Olisar. What are we going to do with Port Olisar, guys? Increased refinery kiosk payout to give a slightly higher yield to mine materials. Again, we don't like these forced game mechanics when it comes to industry. We want this algorithm to work perfectly. Apparently, since NPC have control of the market, we definitely want to make sure that there's true supply and demand mechanics happening. And when they say that they're just pushing in amounts, it makes me a little bit worried. As an industrialist, we need to talk more about that algorithm. Further lighting pass on rest stops, okay. Missions, okay. Reactivated NPC combat assist beacons, okay, interesting. Bug fixes. This patrol mission objective should no longer spawn inside of asteroids at Delamar. Hey, that would be nice. Players should no longer be able to complete ship purchases that they can't afford. Damn it. EMP audio should no longer get stuck in a loop. Yes, that would be annoying. That hasn't happened to me. As having a Saber Raven and flying it around, I've actually never had that happen to me, so that's interesting. Fixed excessively loud groundwash audio for Nox and Dragonfly. Cool, so they turned that audio down on that. We actually had mentioned something that on a prior video. The Valkyrie should now properly have atmospheric environmental feedback audio during flight. Okay, the center portion of HURL4 should now have collision. Must have been an area where there wasn't any physics applied. Fix collision preventing access to Vista Room at rest stops. Okay. Using automated landing at rest stops should no longer cause the ship to move away rather than land. Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah. Players should now be able to spawn ground vehicles at Platinum Base surface outposts. I just had this happen to me where nothing was happening and I was basically stuck on it. Interesting. Technical issues. Fix 4 client crashes. Fix 3 server crashes. Fix the server deadlock. Okay. Well, overall, pretty interesting build there. I'm glad you guys went over the details with me. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below as far as what your biggest concerns are going into 3.6. I think 3.6 is going to be a big one. Apparently not as big as I thought. It looks like they're not going to have much in regards to the law system and them pushing the actual game mechanics into it in regards to the law system. I'll be surprised if there's any type of actual patrols or, you know, since they're introducing the black market, if there's going to be much in the ways of fines pushed on you, possibly just fines. As far as UEE coming after you, I'm not quite sure that's going to be in 3.6 from what I'm reading here, but should be interesting as we move forward to see what's going to happen. I think my biggest concern is VTOL right now, as I said before, with the Prospector and industrial type ships that are dependent upon mining on a planet. I mean, they're not necessarily, you can go to space and mine as well, but for people that like to do the planet mining, I think that VTOL will be a very interesting experience. I think some people have had bad experiences with it currently, as I've talked to a couple Evocati members that are not too happy about it, and I've talked to others that say, you got to get used to it. So I'm not quite sure, but we better get a little bit more game mechanics than what I'm seeing right here. I'm going to continue pushing for the industrial player. I think that's important. I'm going to continue pushing for ship cohesion with the pilot, because I think it's really important that we actually are feeling like we're an extension of the ship. That's super important to gameplay. And as usual, guys, it has been a pleasure. Thanks for chilling out with me on this video. Go ahead and check out some others. Thanks for all the new patrons here on the channel. Super appreciate you guys. And don't forget, we're having a giveaway that's ending soon in June for $25 straight cash. PayPal, we're going to up it in July. And we're going to have a damn good time coming up this month. Thanks everybody for joining us on this vid, and I will see you on the next vid.